Cardiff music scene pretty odd, one big house party at times. And
die-hard fans, the fans go crazy.
The surge is happening right across Wales. The world's eyes are on Cardiff. The world's eyes are on Wales.
I think it's quite cool that, you know, in Cardiff we've got loads of bands mixing together, you know, in different languages and stuff.
The Moon Club is like one of the burgeoning hearts of the Cardiff live music community, you know. Revived in 2017 by the community. You know, it really is all that's singing and dancing about the grassroots live music scene in the city. Like,
you've got that sweaty, kind of grungy, you know, like underground feel to it, and it can be quite intimate. Also, going to watch gigs there is class. Like,
because on any given night, it's a stage for any given person, and I love that.
I also like the smaller gigs though, because of like the energy, man. It's just so different in those small rooms, dude.
So call me in the morning when your head's been sorry, and we can do it again.
Feel dedicated, you know, our fellow metal friends, like our fellow rockers.
Oh, I mean, metal is my thing, so Fuel is my go-to for new stuff. There are some amazing shows there during the Fringe. Aronson with Daybreaker on the Wednesday night will be a really, really great show.
There's a certain like camaraderie in metal music, you know. There's always a real appreciation for artists starting out. It's a global sensation, Fuel Rock Club. They're selling merch to places like Brazil and America, and the dedication to being, you know, Cardiff's metal bar is awesome, you know, because it gives metal artists a place to play and a place to congregate.
Especially, you know, as Pavo Welsh language band and like, you know, a keen Welsh speaker and stuff. Obviously, Clwb y Bach has my heart.
I mean, what can you say? It's an institution. It's been going since the mid-80s, Clwb y Bach.
So many of my really kind of good, amazing memories of watching gigs in Cardiff have been there.
I think Club's my favourite venue to watch gigs in. You know, you've got the bottom floor, top floor, different sized venues, but such like electric atmospheres in there and stuff.
You know, the mural is a tourist attraction in itself, even if you never even walk in the building, you know?
I'd say my favourite one is probably fucking Clwb y Bach, because it's just like only the facilities are great and all that sort of stuff. My professional favourite is Clwb y Bach.
You know, like for me, there's nothing better than being in the crowd watching a band play like a packed out set at club. It's just brilliant.
Gigs going on left, right and centre with a DJ set in the middle floor. I love Clwb y Bach's dedication to the Welsh language through, you know, the work they do with Tavoil, and for a Welsh language band that lives in Aberaeron or you know, Dolgellau or anything, this is like the pinnacle, like, you know, this is like the almighty place that, you know, a band from that area needs to play. So we'd be lost without it, you know, and it really is the centerpiece of a beautiful music landscape that we've got in the city centre. So.
Yeah, so a little bit about Tiny Rebel. We're a grassroots live music venue and we've been hosting live music for about 5 years now. We're a micro venue, so it's 85 capacity space.
We did see Bandicoot up in Tiny Rebel upstairs as well. There's no stage, so you're like right on, right fucking face to face with that bass player that gets in your face. What's his name? Kieran.
Yeah, shout out Kieran.
Shout out Kieran.
Big backflip off stage, remember?
Yeah, proud man. Good sideburns as well.
Brewery is based out of Rogerstone in Newport, so it's all sort of like a Welsh independent business, which is cool when other live music venues and independent bars and stuff in town, and well, throughout the UK really, since like COVID and Brexit and all that have closed. It's nice to see like a company which is doing well, it's flourishing. Yeah.
Tramshed is new kid on the block. I mean, it's been going since 2016. A really amazing relationship with the local community of Grangetown, but also works with students and universities.
Yeah. Tramshed's cool. I like the big stage, and because obviously there's 6 of us. There's not that many big stages in Cardiff, and then we get to like, stretch our legs in Tramshed.
My mother said that I could beat this trick or if I eat my greens, but she don't understand when the thought process isn't safe.
Some awesome people have played Tramshed, which is only like 1,000 caps. So again, it's got that intimacy, but like, seeing like Billy Talent or Laura Marling or all these different kinds of artists who are huge. You'd see thousands upon thousands of people watching these artists at like festivals, getting the opportunity to see those in like, with like 900 other people is just like, it's a bit surreal really.
I've been holding weight that is both dead and under since I could know.
It's because they see subjects in this home.
Wow, where do we even begin with Culture Lab? Culture Lab's like a world inside a world inside a world. It is like Inception. Amazing spot, run by like really forward-thinking and trailblazing installation artists. Where do we start? It's like got a 360-degree immersive visual dome. It's just, it's mind-blowing. It's an amalgamation of audio and visual in just a way that you just, it's very, very like envelope pushing. And it is in Penarth Road, which is, is more than a stone's throw away from the city centre, but it is worth the Uber fee alone. Porters is just like, it's multidisciplinary. Like it's so like amazing to have a stage that artists can perform on with theatre lighting, but then you turn around and there's like an actual theatre. It's just so bizarre. Like it's a theatre and a gig space, and they have lots of art exhibitions there. What a space! What an incredible space!
I absolutely love Porters. I love seeing shows in Porters. There's an intimacy about that venue which all small venues have, but there's something really special about the layout of Porters and the way it looks, and you just feel so close to it. Grassroots venues, that's what you get. You get to really feel the music, and there's not a bad choice amongst them.
Also Porters, we've got to give a shout out to Porters.
They got Porters.
They're popping off at the moment.
Yeah.
Cute to get in the other night.
I was waiting in there for half an hour.
Yeah.
There's a lot of contention around the future of that place. All I say to people that are watching this right now is get into it and enjoy it, because we don't know how long it's going to be around for, and the best thing you can do is get out there, enjoy it, and look after the really hardworking people that keep putting things together on in there. Cardiff Students' Union has been in operation before my time. The stories that it holds within those walls, the things that have happened there, people that have played there, an extraordinary place. It's a pinnacle. Like when an artist is looking at what is going on in the city, these places are top hitters because not only what they offer now, but what they've offered for so long has been so good that they've just built, you know, an empire really. And I think that that's what Cardiff Students' Union have done, you know. They've built such a special relationship up with gig goers, not just locally, but right across the UK. The Globe is such an amazing music venue. It used to be a cinema that used to go right up to the bottom of Wellfield Road. Because it's on the touring circuit, you do tend to see like lots of really awesome touring bands playing there.
From stomping on it till I'm gone with it, out for the kill, it's a thrill for me and I'm just waiting for the break.
Globe's class. I like the space. I like how it's got like an upstairs. It gives you like two views. You know, you could be the guy at the front who's mosh pitting and going mad, or you can be that person at the top overlooking everyone. Feels like it gives you that option, like depending on how you want to view the gig. You know, it helps that I've seen some great like bands in the Globe as well. Some good acts.
It takes me to get you off the general. It's never satisfied or full enough of killing this shit. Billing it quick, just listen in it.
I do really enjoy the Globe though as well. Like the Globe stage is wicked, and every time I played there, the sound is always really good as well.
Yeah.
I think that's
the Globe is underrated.
Yeah.
So it's not like in the centre of town.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets like brushed past a lot of the time. You know what I mean? But it's one of the best, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's got a good name as well.
Yeah, the Globe.
It's too cold, blood channeling through my veins when I express. Take a stand, speak.
The Motorpoint Arena it's an interesting venue, you know. It's very Marmitey, but equally, I wouldn't see a city without it. You know, it is, you know, it holds its weight as like an old section of Cardiff. You know, it was opened in the mid-80s by Shirley Bassey. And it has just like a real lick of old Cardiff about it, you know. And in a city that is very fast progressing, to have things that have stayed is really important. The Motorpoint for that reason is, you know, a really important part to the capital city.
Hi, my name's Emma Clark and I'm the publisher of Buzz Magazine and director of Buzz Culture, and I started Buzz Magazine 30 years ago when I was 21.
So I'm Connor Couples, I work for Orchard Live. I am operations manager and one of the promoters / bookers.
Yeah, hi, so I'm Dave Ball, I'm the sector development manager for music at Creative Wales.
Buzz is essentially a listings, entertainment, cultural guide, so we cover a variety of areas. For example, we do book reviews, film reviews, music reviews, previews. We also interview comedians, and we also look at introducing lots of environmental and sustainable issues, things that are important to Wales and people that live in Wales. Over the years it's grown to become a digital content provider as well, so we still produce the printed version, which is a monthly free What's On culture guide, And we also do online content and digital content for clients, for ourselves, make videos, make documentaries. And we also recently launched Buzz Culture, which is a learning program for 18 to 30-year-olds looking to get into the creative and cultural skills. And it covers everything from how to set up a business, how to set up a bank account, how to network, and we introduce the students to our clients. So we're in the middle, we facilitate this networking opportunity. Buzz Culture was set up as a need, we felt, for the creative and cultural skills. There's a definite lack of skills going into the industry. We found as an employer that when students come to us, it's great they've been through the university process, but the actual day-to-day running and being involved in small business is very different. So it needs additional skills.
So Orchard, we are the biggest independent promoter in Wales. So we do shows from 100 capacity up to 20,000 capacity. This year, we're privileged enough to work with the likes of Diana Ross, Dermot Kennedy, Brian Adams, but also doing shows across Wales with artists like John Owen Jones. So we do shows basically across Pan Wales, but also into Telford, Bath, Widnes as well. From my side, it's a really great opportunity to be able to partner with Immersed to help develop new talent and fresh talent in Wales. There's a bit of a talent kind of gap at the moment in the industry, so we really need some fresh new talent coming through. And just to be able to spend a few hours every couple of weeks to help bring those new talent through is a huge plus for me, and what's a couple of hours to help develop that talent.
Creative Wales is a internal agency within Welsh Government, which basically means we're part of Welsh Government, but we have our own branding and our own sort of profile. What we do is work with the creative industries and the creative sector right the way across Wales, across all of the elements of the industry. So film and TV, digital media, everything through fashion, publishing, architecture, and of course music, which is where I sit. And within that we work with venues, artists, recording labels, management, studios, everything you can think of really. Whoever needs the help within it, we'll try and do something to help them. So it really depends which bit we're looking after. So over the last couple of years, obviously with COVID closing things down, we've done a lot of work with the bricks and mortar bit of the industry, if you like. So venues, rehearsal spaces, recording studios. There's been more than 7 million spent from Welsh Government to help keep those places open, to make sure they can carry on. Anything we can do to help people, whether that's passing them on to other people who can help them better than we can, or whether that's finding something and creating something new ourselves to be able to give people what they need to be able to help. We try and be led by the industry and listen to what people tell us they need, and as much as we can provide that for them. I mean, one of the really amazing things that we got to see during the COVID recovery process was that, across the whole of Wales, we didn't lose a single venue as a result of COVID.
Hello, so I am Bronwyn Evans and I am the Sustainability Management Officer at the Immersed Festival 2022. The theme for this year was sustainability. Social change comes from the individual. We need to get people passionate about the environment before we are able to make political change. One of the things we are choosing to do this year to help the environment is holding an upcycling workshop. Students will be able to bring old broken shoes, t-shirts with holes in them, things like that. Anything really that is broken that can be fixed. In terms of merchandise for Immersed, we are going on a charity shopping spree and buying lots of different charity shop clothes, which we then take to the event. People that attend the festival will be able to pick them off the rail and then get them branded with the Immersed logo there and then. It means that people aren't buying fast fashion, they are not consuming new material.
I'm Lewis Jameson. I'm one of the co-founders of Music Declares Emergency, which is a charity that was launched in 2019, in July of 2019, to use music, or to work with music, both the music industry and artists, to raise awareness and call for urgent action in response to the climate emergency. And we decided essentially that there were two things that we were interested in doing. One was to work with the music industry on the nuts and bolts of them being more sustainable. And then on the other side, the thing that we do a lot of, and we've always done a lot of, is working with artists who want to speak out, to help them speak out, to help them talk to their audiences and their fans and use their position and their power in a positive way to get climate action on the agenda. Because our belief is that without huge public support for climate action, we're not going to get the action we need to solve the problem. There needs to be pressure continually on the people who hold the levers of power and hold the levers that can change things to do more faster. And that's kind of where the artists come in. I think the most kind of prescient thing that's ever been said to me was said to me by Alison Tickle, who runs Julie's Bicycle. And she said to me a long time ago, the beauty of art is that it can take really complex ideas and make them really simple. And that's it in a nutshell. You know, an artist can take the subject of climate change and they can reduce it back to a human, intelligible place through song. And they can touch a part of us that bypasses all that kind of rationality and that kind of this human desire to pick things apart and go, oh, but, you know, and just hit something much more primal within us. They can influence our behavior, they can make us think, they can make us consider, they can make us feel in ways that definitely politicians can. Even the most, you know, kind of forward-thinking, the most inspiring politicians can really touch us like artists can. And then the other thing, of course, is that artists create communities, and the artist communities are places where those conversations about climate can happen, you know, in ways that they couldn't happen in the general public, in ways that they just don't happen in day-to-day life. There are certain things that the music industry has done and to a degree continues to do that are just indefensible, really. And top of that list is extraneous travel. There are really practical things like looking at new ways of making vinyl. And there are lots of new prototypes for vinyl, one of which we're talking to at the moment, which uses a kind of, I can't remember where it comes from, coconut-based or is a vegetable-based kind of polymer, so that it's not oil-based, essentially. Packaging, all those kind of things. Power, but then there's things you don't think about, like finance. So, you know, the big organizations in the music industry have big finance and they have big pensions. And not having your pension provider be somebody who gives or invests in fossil fuels is a really simple way to do it, because it cuts off the finance that perpetuates the fossil fuel industry. A music industry that is sustainable in, say, 10 years, which is achievable, is one that firstly is a net zero, is not contributing emissions to the world, is not making the world a worse place, but is also kind of a lodestar for an example of how business can be not just practically sustainable, but morally sustainable as well. Nonetheless, the artist sets the tone. And of course, most artists, when they start out, are not as powerful as the ones that are successful. You end up with someone like Billie Eilish, who has Reverb working on her world tour, working to radically drop the footprint of the tour in every way possible, thinking about everything from water refill stations to routing, to power, to alternative power sources, to kind of sourcing local food for the riders and for the catering, to looking at removing plastic from the supply chain. There's all these kind of things. And again, with that stuff, it's not just about the impact, in CO2 per kilogram that is removed from the tour. It's about people coming to that event and seeing this different way of doing things and going, so this is possible then. Or even, why are they doing that? Oh, they're doing that because of this. The most powerful thing individuals can do, and the most powerful thing, smaller artists can do when they're starting out, is use their voice, is use their platform, is use their power, inform, educate, kind of share, and support the artists when they do speak out. If an artist speaks out and you agree with what they're saying, make it clear you agree with what they're saying, even if it's just a like on the social post. But if we can go to the powers that be and say, we've done all of this, you now need to step up and do this, and we have the powers of the fans behind us going, yeah, we want all this stuff as well, then it's a much more powerful argument than just sitting here going, well, until you do that, we're not going to do anything. And to the credit, the music industry is doing lots, a hell of a lot. And it's doing more and more every day, and artists are coming forward more and more every day and getting involved. So we're on the right track. And if the fans engage with that as well, we're a very powerful force, and we can wield that power for a very good thing.
In terms of like other cities in the UK, like Cardiff is quite unique just because it's got a Welsh language scene. In terms of things that separate different kind of indie stuff that goes on in other areas, I think it's quite cool that, you know, in Cardiff you've got loads of bands mixing together, you know, in different kind of languages and stuff.
I think people who come to like Cardiff or Wales generally, again, I think you can extrapolate everything you say about Cardiff across Wales, but people in Cardiff tend to just go fucking crazy. Like they tend to go insane.
Also, I've heard that like in comparison to places like, I don't know, London, Cardiff, you know, people kind of get on with each other and like to support each other.
Again, I think it stems from that sense of community, and crowds in Cardiff sort of identify going crazy at the show is like a good support element of like supporting a band. Like it's not enough just to turn up, you have to like look like you're enjoying yourself and really get involved, you know what I mean? So
Die-hard fans, yeah, the fans go crazy, especially the Merthyr crew. Big up, you know who you are. And the West Wales crew as well.
Yes.
They go hard. And the Blackwood crew.
Yeah, the Blackwood
My boys
crew.
represent.
The fans go crazy in this country.
You see it in all aspects of the arts now, especially in Wales, like people embracing their Welshness no matter what form it is, do you know what I mean? And I think that's amazing to see.
If someone's rude or obnoxious about me singing in Welsh, I could not give I don't know, whatever, if you catch my drift.
Everyone's not afraid to do their own thing in Cardiff and in Wales especially. I feel like everyone's got their own little niche and they're proud of that, and they're, you know, working on their own thing, which I think is something to be proud of.
We take influence from other like genres of music, obviously, and that, but I think we make it our own, just purely from being Welsh and from being from Cardiff, you know, or like whatever part of Wales you're from, actually, because it's not just Cardiff.
Well, absolutely, get involved. I mean, that's the thing, you know, we are a community. No matter if you're a DJ, a musician, a promoter, a club.
And there's some great things that come out of Cardiff, to be honest. There's a big grime scene here, which I pay attention to.
Yeah, it's always been a city that's loved this music, and we've got so many amazing venues that it's we're glad that they finally come here and we're making it happen.
There isn't any other experience but that apart from that connection that you get when you go to live music. There isn't anything on the same par really as live music emotionally. So music has a real empathy and a connection, I think. I think that's the most important thing about it.
When I started writing in Welsh, I remember going to some Welsh kind of gigs and I was like, oh, I could do this, so I'm going to do it. Bands like Datblygu, like Alsmidiad, like, I don't know, there's so many like ones which were back in the day, which, you know, are just amazing.
It's definitely, it's authentic and it's special, especially if you can hear a Welsh accent on a song.
We are Cardiff, and we should be proud of that fact. We should hold and grasp onto our heritage.
Artists in the past, do you think have had the biggest impact on Cardiff and Welsh music?
I think it's probably got to be Gwenno. She's got that mural painted on the side of Clwb Ifor Bach, that's her face. And I think she has broken so many boundaries because she sings purely in Cornish and in Welsh. Yeah, she's had international acclaim and she's played like everywhere in Cornish, you know, I think that's amazing.
I would probably lay that at the feet of the Manics. They typify really a lot of the Welsh spirit. Unfortunately, they probably had to go outside of Wales for a lot of it, which is the same story. It was that we were involved a small amount with the Stereophonics when that happened. And what tends to happen is a band becomes successful and then everything kind of moves from Wales, you know. But I would definitely say the Manics, their values, and they have put their money back into the city and Wales as well. They're just good guys.
Thinking back to when I was like younger and what got me into music, I think the massive like emo scene that was back in the day, bands like Bullet for My Valentine, Funeral for a Friend, like and the Blackout and stuff like that. I remember getting into that kind of rock music and stuff like that. Also you've got the Manics, and you've got newer bands that have kind of broke recently, like Boyzooka, Buzzard. Like Cardiff is like a big village, I reckon. Everyone knows everyone, and it's quite nice, you know what I mean?
I mean, you've got the obvious ones like the Stereophonics and the Manics.
Tom Jones.
I think a lot of people sound like Stereophonics, especially a lot of Merthyr bands.
I think it's also a motivation more than anything to see a Welsh artist being able to do it.
Yeah, the pride, innit?
Yeah.
When they see like another Welsh, like when a Welsh band comes out, like the whole nation gets behind them usually. Like with Shirley Bassey.
Yeah?
You know what I mean? Like people talk about that, and Welsh people feel like a sort of emotional connection to them just because they're from the small country. So, like Chesko said, it's more of a pride thing than shaping the music. It's like, if Stereophonics can do it with their music.
I remember coming to watch Pretty Vicious when I was 16 in the Globe, and I thought, like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Milk,
yeah.
Milk, constantly playing the Moon Club.
And Hippie Cat as well. They were like the first band that blew me away in Cardiff, because they were sort of doing the music that we envisioned ourselves doing. So I was like, shit, that is fucking beast. They used to dress up as crazy dudes, so yeah, I think they inspired me, definitely.
I like loads of bands from Wales at the minute. Buzzard and Panic Shack are doing amazing things. Yeah, Buzzard and Panic Shack, I think.
If I had to put it down to one, I'd say there's clearly artists that have been very big in the Welsh scene for a long time, like Traumatic, like Local. I'd say probably the newest, like the hottest new artist of the year is definitely Mace the Great, if I had to put it down to one. But there's so many that are doing well. Raz Kid, Linus, Juice Manis, all those artists killing it, to be fair.
I mean, there's that guy Mace the Great, right? I think he's coming to like South by Southwest with us and stuff. He's doing amazingly.
The opening night at Tramshed, I mean, I've seen Mace several times. He's always brilliant, but Faith has got an absolutely fantastic voice. I'm looking forward to seeing her in person.
At this current moment in time, where we are right now, I'm gonna have to say Asteroid Boys, and they brought people like Sunny Double One and Mace the Great along on that ride with them really early out, looking after artists like that, and it just sent off a trajectory. Prime example, Panic Shack, yeah, that I'm wearing here on my t-shirt. They saw their mates in bands and all their mates were blokes, and they were like, if our mates can do it, we can have a go. And look at them, they're fucking fantastic, do you know what I mean?
When people are on a mad one and they're at house parties, obviously Traumatic is what people play when they're session. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know how much of an impact he's had on the UK, let alone Wales. Like, you don't have to search far and wide. Someone's going to be sniffing a Kia Cat to Traumatic, like that guy.
Afro Cluster were my record of the year last year with their album. I mean, that was my Welsh Music Prize pick. So to see them play that live would be great.
I'm working with a couple of guys called the Bug Club who are really great right now, and I think they're just at the beginning. Like, I mean, they're playing like loads of shows around the country and just selling shows out, which is insane. And they're not from Cardiff, but they come from a place called Roggett.
There's still loads of bands popping off, new bands coming through in Cardiff.
Yeah, man.
Seems strong.
I really rate Dactyl Terror, and also Bandicoot as well, because they're pushing strong. They're from Bandicoot are from Swansea originally, and they've come to the Cardiff scene and ripped the fucking hole in it, to be honest.
Yeah, nice guys as well.
I also like Melf.
Yeah, Mesh. Come on, bruv. Gotta get that Welsh language down, mate.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, we haven't seen many gigs in the last couple of years. So all the newer bands have kind of seen posters of and things and videos, but I've not actually been able to go and see them in the flesh. I love going to see them, being like, what chord is that he's playing, bro?